right, friends, I'm promising a short sermon today. My goal is 5 minutes. We'll see how that goes. Let me get my screen a little rearranged here. This does not count against my 5 minutes. All right, this story that we just heard, in one way, this story is a great story to kick off our 2021 pledge drive. You got your pledge mailings this week, hopefully, and if you didn't, let us know. But we are officially kicking that off for the next 3 weeks. Great story for that. In another way, it's kind of a terrible story to kick off the pledge drive, considering our theology and our practice at Govans. It's a great story because the poor, starving widow gives all she has, even in her poverty. She puts her faith in God and gives her last food to the prophet Elijah. And shouldn't we all have that kind of faith and practice that kind of extravagant, selfless generosity, especially during these uncertain times? It's a terrible story because it's about a religious person asking a poor, starving widow to have faith in God and therefore give her last bit of resources to him, even if it means she and her family will starve. And there are too many examples throughout history and in our day today of religious leaders taking advantage of very poor people in order to enrich themselves. And this story is uncomfortably close to that situation, or at least it evokes that situation. Now, there's some details and nuance that redeem the story. One is that Elijah is not rich. He's homeless, and he's on the run from King Ahab and Queen Jezebel, who are trying to hunt him down and kill him. And the story does work out. It's reasonable to assume that Elijah knew it would work out because he's the greatest prophet of Israel. So the widow does have faith, the miracle does happen, and she gives to the person in need, and she still has enough for her family and friends, so it all works out. But still, this is not really the way we approach stewardship at Govans. We don't say, give, 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 even to the point of risking your own well-being, give, 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 even to the point of risking your family's well-being, just give. We're a church instead that seeks to integrate the heart and the head, so that good stewardship is about finding a balance between giving generously and saving responsibly and spending carefully and living simply. Good stewardship is about challenging ourselves to be more generous with our money, as well as to be more generous with our time and our talent and our virtues, our kindness, our caring. Good stewardship is about examining all the things that we have been given and reflecting critically on which things are interfering with our relationship with God, which things are getting in the way of living a life more connected to the people around us and to the larger community. Which things do we really need? Which things can we let go of? How does our lifestyle impact God's creation? And how can we live more simply and sustainably? Those are all part of stewardship. And so we do challenge ourselves to give generously and to save thoughtfully and to invest responsibly and to live simply, to do all of that. And I encourage you, therefore, to do all of that as you reflect on your 2021 pledge. Now, giving is critical to a healthy spiritual life. That's just the way it is. We can't grow in our faith if we're not growing in our generosity, just like we can't grow in our faith if we're not growing in patience and growing in our inner peace and growing in our love for neighbor. Growing in our faith means growing in all the ways. Now, there is one unique thing about generosity, at least when it comes to our money, and that is we can measure it. We can't measure how much we love someone. We can't measure how kind we are or how patient we are, but we can measure how much money we give. We can count our total income, calculate what portion of that we're giving away. Done. Giving 10% of our income or a tithe is a traditional standard, but it's not the only biblical standard. Jesus criticized tithers for thinking that tithing carefully is all they needed to do to be righteous. He challenged others to give everything, sell it all, and give it all away. In one case, he praised someone for giving half of their wealth away. In other situations, he relied on people with wealth to support his ministry. But one thing is for sure, To whom much is given, much is required in one way or another. And if we are living comfortably and we're giving in the 1% to 2% range, we probably have work to do. Everyone can seek to be more generous. And so that's the message. Give thoughtfully, give carefully, give faithfully, but always, always we must be challenging ourselves to give generously.